God loves to, like, he's a lavish God. And, like, sometimes it feels like you're just trying to get by to survive and stuff. But I think there's certain times where he just likes to remind you that he's in the details and the small things. You don't keep track. It's just kind of a give and a take. And you help someone, someday they'll help you. And
or you help someone else because someone different helped you.
Yes. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily a circle or a cycle, but a chain.
Like, the point is, we're supposed to be spreading the love of Jesus. We're supposed to be looking outward and bringing people into our circle, into our community, and not just focusing on our community and be like, oh, it's so great. And it is, but yet sometimes we forget that that's the whole point.
To this day, I still remember the conversations we were having and just the way they made us feel. And we were complete strangers, and I have no idea what their names were, and we'll probably never run into them again. But they ministered to us in a way they will never know. Oh, man. So this morning, I was working at a coffee shop, like trying to get all of our notes together for our episodes. We always film 2 episodes at a time. And so I was sitting there on my laptop, and a lady walks up to me like she saw a ghost or something. I had an earbud in my ear. I think she thought I was on the phone with someone. And so I took it out, and she's like, so I walked by and I saw your water bottle. It was this one. And she's like, I remembered a girl on YouTube talking about a water bottle. And I was like, that's the same one. And then I looked up and it was you. So the water bottle caught her eye. And
That's so funny.
And then and so she's like, I had to come over and say hi. Her name was Rose. So shout out to Rose. Yeah, so it was just kind of fun. We sat and chatted for a little bit, and she said some things that she appreciates about the pot.
That's always nice to hear.
Yeah, I like getting compliments like, oh, your hair looks nice, or like whatever. But there's something about being complimented for your hard work, too, that just goes very far, because it's like, oh, somebody sees or appreciates or whatever. So
absolutely. Yeah. That means a lot more than a comment on your appearance. Although I'm not going to lie, I do like those too.
Yeah, I know. I often at church I'll be like, oh, I love your dress, or you look so good today, or whatever. But it's not about looks always. Like, I need to remember to say thank you to the fellowship meal committee and like things like that. They really put the work in. We had to help out the other Sunday. And our kids running around and everything, it was just chaos. And the family that normally does it has tons of kids too. So I was like, wow, there's a lot of behind the scenes that I just take for granted. Mm-hmm. But I was sitting at the coffee shop working, and I got a Snapchat from you, and I just thought, oh, she's blabbing up a storm about, our podcast topics. Yeah. We always like dry run a couple ideas to each other over Snapchat.
It's called pre-banter, I believe. No.
Just to make sure we're like on the same page. Sometimes it's fun when we're not on the same page and both firmly in our opinions, because that always makes for a fun podcast. Yep. But yeah, anyway, what did you tell me?
Well, okay, so I was driving to Target. And
this was your day off today.
Yes. My Wednesday. I love my Wednesdays off. But then I always feel like I'm missing stuff at school, so I'm very torn. But anyway, I was driving to Target, and I drove past this yard sale, and I noticed a radio flyer trike. And in fact, I thought I had seen more than one when I drove past, and I was like, oh man, Megan's looking for one of those. I should turn around. And I hate yard sales. And yet...
It's like an Eric thing.
I was like, oh man, I should turn around. Like, if I could save Megan from dealing with Facebook Marketplace, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to turn around. So I turned around, went back, looked at this guy's trike. He comes out in like shirtless, hairy chest, suspenders. I mean, real character. Trying to sell me all this other stuff. I'm like, I'm really just interested in the trike for my cousin. Like, let me see if I get a hold of her.
I feel so
special.
I
went back to my car. I kind of wasn't expecting you to reply, but then you did. And I was like, well, I'm here now. I might as well just, finish this out with you. And then you said you were interested. So I went back and I was like, yeah, I want this one. $30. I was like, that sounds like even if you hate it, whatever, $30.
It was great condition.
Yeah, he's like, this is worth hundreds of dollars or something. This is a really good deal. I was like, okay, buddy. Anyway, it did look like a nice one. For $30, I didn't think it sounded like a bad price. So I got it, and I brought it and delivered it tonight, and it was very successful, and I was very proud of myself. And then I got back in my car and looked at my GPS. I'm like, oh, why is it telling me to go the way I came? Here, I wasn't even supposed to be on that road. I turned automatically because it's the way I go to the pool, and I was supposed to go straight. I wasn't even supposed to be on that road, so I don't know. It was a little meant to be moment, I guess.
I think my friends and I were talking about this because my friend happened upon a brand new $1,000 espresso machine in her possession that they could not afford, but they were able to get it through a series of circumstances. And we were just talking about God loves to, like, he's a lavish God. And like, sometimes it feels like you're just trying to get by to survive and stuff. But I think there's certain times where he just likes to remind you that he's in the details and the small things and the trivial things. And maybe it's just the way you look at it. Like, you could just look at it as, oh, Jayna was so nice. And, you know, which I definitely do. But also, you know, God orchestrated you turning the wrong direction, possibly. You know, who knows?
Yeah. And I don't know if you probably didn't pray about that trike, but I think it's also a reminder to pray about the little things, because let's say you would have prayed about it. Like, how much cooler of a story would it have been if you had? And it's just a reminder that God does care about the little things. And if you even just like pray about it, then when it does work out, then it just is another reminder to honor and glorify God. And we need them all the time. So I don't know.
He's a big God, but he's also a small personal God too. That's so cool. I guess we should get into our homemaking endeavor.
So we moved and our friends wanted to come see our new house. So I invited them all over on Sunday night. And my one friend walks in with like this big armload full of things as a housewarming present for me, which I was totally not expecting. But one of the things that she gave me was a big pile of plum tomatoes from her garden and some jalapeno peppers. And I was like, oh, this is great. I wasn't planning to do any canning this year, but now I have this very small, manageable quantity of free garden produce. Well, use it I shall. So I canned, diced, and I had some random peppers and onions in my fridge that needed to be used up. So I diced them up. Actually, I pulverized them in the blender, which I guess could go into the flop category. But I don't know. My kids don't really like peppers and onions anyway, so the more mushy they are and blendable, probably the better.
This is like baby food, onions and peppers.
Like, it looks like mush on the bottom of the can, but whatever. It worked. They all sealed. I did 6 pints of diced tomatoes, and they all sealed.
What will you use this for?
Chili, any like taco soup, all stuff that you don't eat, casseroles. If I want to make like that cheesy hamburger dip, I could add those.
Oh yeah.
Anything
no,
where you use diced tomatoes.
Diced tomatoes. I just never paid attention if there was peppers or onions in them.
You can get diced tomatoes with chilies in them, but I don't know. That's how my mom always did it, and I kind of like it because anything you're adding tomatoes to.
When it sits in within the jar, it probably gives it a whole new flavor too, I'm guessing.
Just adds a little some seasoning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's awesome because you just happened to have it too, and it was a gift.
Yeah, and then I made cowboy candy with the jalapenos this morning.
Did they get?
I don't know. I didn't taste it, but I have like 3 tiny little jars.
I tried it and it flopped last year. They turned so rubbery, so I gave up on it. But they're Josh's absolute favorite thing ever.
I mean, I followed the recipe. The only thing is I may have cooked them a little longer than it said. Is that why yours got rubbery?
Yeah. I halved the batch, but I kept everything else the same. So I probably should have halved the cooking time and stuff. Like, you can't really half when it comes to canning. Let's not troubleshoot here or there.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they're good.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I have a homemaking endeavor that we are endeavoring to rid our home of bees right now. There's like literal hives of bees crawling into our home, and we can't figure out why. Josh is just like, I feel bad for him because it's on his shoulders. But all throughout the day, we're vacuuming up bees left and right.
Like in a certain area, or just all over the house?
It's the whole side of the house. So this room, the bedroom, and the basement right below us here. It's all in this wall. So Josh is like, we've been battling it for like 5-6 days. He hates to call the exterminator. If he knew it was going to be this bad, he would have called him right at the beginning and had him like fog everything.
Are they in the wall?
He thinks he plugged up the hole that he thought they were getting in and out of. And yeah, so we'll see if it keeps going on too much longer. Like, we get a couple bee stings every day. Like, somebody does. It's nuts. But thankfully, I've now proven that none of us are allergic to bee stings. Yeah. We're going to get into the heart of today's episode, but I want to remind you to subscribe if you're on YouTube and like this video. Send it to a friend using that arrow button if you are listening to this and you think of someone that might enjoy this episode. If you are listening on Spotify or iTunes, if you could leave us a review, that would be awesome. You're the best. You're a real one. But yeah, just all the things I wanted to remind you about before we get into today's episode. Also, if you don't normally watch on YouTube, this is probably the episode to do so because you're going to get some glimpses of Jayna's house in this episode. If you're listening, that's fine too. It's not going to disrupt the audio or anything, but we will be putting some clips over top of our speaking here and there so you can get a little bit of a visual of Jayna's new home. This fall, Voetberg Music Academy is running its biggest music competition ever, and it's giving away thousands of dollars in prize money.
Categories will include piano, fiddle, guitar, ukulele, and mandolin with 2 age groups for each instrument. This is for any musician anywhere.
Beginner or advanced, young or old, although my young kids are so motivated by money.
Yeah.
Voetberg Music Academy student or not. Contestants will be required to submit videos of themselves playing 2 songs of their choice, one upbeat and one slow.
Judges will be scoring based on difficulty, rhythm, tone, intonation, and overall musicality.
Prize money will be awarded to the top 5 finishers in each division.
This is a great opportunity for instrumentalists to level up on their technical proficiency.
In the weeks leading up to the competition, all of the live coaching calls on VMA will be geared towards fine-tuning students playing in preparation for the competition. Whether you or your children are beginners or seasoned musicians, this competition is for you.
Go to VoetbergMusicAcademy.com to learn more and sign up. If you are ready to get started with either piano, guitar, fiddle, or ukulele lessons at Voetberg Music Academy, then use our code Homemaker20 at checkout to get 20% off each month you are enrolled.
Weekly lessons, live coaching calls, monthly performance opportunities, 24/7 messaging with your instructor, access to the VMA community, badges mailed to your home, and so much more is included with your membership that is less than one in-person lesson.
Go to VoetbergMusicAcademy.com and get started today.
I mean, again, art replicates life. Is that what they say? Art imitates life.
Yes.
So we are just going to roll with what feels relevant in this week.
Yeah. Which is...
Oh, you want me to do it? Drum roll.
I don't know. Did we have a title?
Making community 3D, because it rhymes.
Okay.
Whatever.
And we got this idea because, like I mentioned before, we recently moved. So it was about 2.5 weeks ago that we moved, and it was a relatively smooth process. I mean, considering the amount of stuff that we had to move, our friends and family showed up, and I was just thinking like how we couldn't have done it without them, or we would have had to hire movers. In fact, this guy from the finance company that we used, they call it like a concierge service. Like he called and was offering like all his services, and one of the ones that he offered was moving services, like that, you know, it wasn't a free service, but like he would get us in contact with movers that we could hire. And I was like, I don't need that. I was like, we are moving 2.5 miles down the road and we have friends and family galore with trucks. Like, and I just thought like, what a blessing that our friends and family were so willing to help us move. And, you know, we've helped many people move too. So it's not like we're moochers, I hope. But they just showed up, and my friend came over Friday night and helped me clean. My mom was helping me clean. My sister and sister-in-law helped me set up the kitchen. And in the whole process, you know, you feel very overwhelmed when you're moving. There's things coming and going, and you're kind of in charge of put this there, that goes there, and it can be overwhelming. Well, you had an experience too. It's overwhelming stocking your kitchen and like putting everything in the drawers and finding the best drawers. So it was just so nice to have my sister-in-law there and just helping me think through things. Okay, well, this is where you should have this, and this is where you should have this, and like the kitchen had plenty of space, so there's still empty drawers or drawers with hardly anything in. I know, but still it was so nice, and I hardly moved anything around so far. I think we did a really good job
initially.
So I don't know, it was just such a blessing, and I just don't ever want to take it for granted.
I was very privileged to be able to see her house. It is beautiful. The exterior is like it reminds you of one of those cozy Airbnbs or something. Yeah. The siding is so pretty, and you said this was built like brand new, cutting edge in the 90s.
It was built in 91 or 92. I think they built it in 91 and then moved in 92, which is Eric and I's birth years. So
it's so neat. And it does not look like a 90s traditional house that you would envision. It has some character and personality. Yeah. And the stairs going up to it and everything. It's just so nice. The setting is, I think, the $1 million setting. Back in the woods.
I grew up in the woods, and it just kind of feels like coming home. I don't know. I loved the woods growing up, and there is nothing more beautiful, in my opinion, than sunlight just filtering through a forest. I just think it's the prettiest thing ever. So I get to see that every day now.
That's the sunset?
Just any light, like the morning light or the evening light.
But do you get both?
In the back of the house, it would be the afternoon, evening light, and then in the morning when we go down to the bus, we see on the other side of the road.
I was coming up your driveway and I literally got blinded.
Yeah, do not come up my driveway between like 4 and 6.
It was 5:45, and like I literally just had to look at the wood trim on the sides of the driveway because I couldn't look straight ahead. There was nothing to see.
It's a steep
driveway.
And
it felt like I was shooting up into the moon. Like,
and the sun's just like blaring right in your eyes. You can't see.
That's the only complaint about the whole place.
We right after we settled, we settled at like I think 3 or 4 in the afternoon, I forget. And then we went straight to the house and we're like, whoa, didn't notice this when we saw it, previously because it was later in the evening.
Oh, man. But what level would you say your house is after 2 weeks of moving in?
We're pretty much, all the boxes are unpacked. I have my car in the garage. There's a few bigger items I'm trying to sell on Marketplace that are in the garage, but I mean, there's no totes sitting around. There are some totes in closets that may or may not ever be unpacked. Some of those memento boxes, that type of thing. Now, our old house still has not sold, so that's a long story in itself. But our shop, basement, and shed have not been cleaned out yet, so all that stuff needs to come over. But I feel like the stuff that we have moved over, which is, all the household things, all my part, like all my household stuff is like completely finished. So then we'll just have that stuff to worry about, and that can happen whenever. So
yeah. And you said you have boxes sitting on your porch. You got some furniture or something?
Yeah, some furniture trickling in. I felt like we had a decent amount of furniture, but this house we had one big living room at our old house. This one has 2 smaller ones, so you end up needing more furniture. And then we had a basement to furnish, which we didn't have before. So yeah, getting a few pieces of furniture here and there. So it's really exciting. I don't know, try not to let it overwhelm me and just like do it one thing at a time. I did order a shelf for our dining room, like a curved arched, I guess, like wall shelf from Magnolia that I'm so excited about.
She treated herself.
It wasn't that expensive.
Actually,
honestly.
they have random things on there that are normal price.
It feels like a splurge, but then I went on Amazon Wayfair, and I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna be upset. I'm gonna find something way cheaper, and I didn't. Like, it was this very similar, if not even more expensive.
That happened with me with a wall mirror from Magnolia. Yeah, there's random things.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I went to Target today, didn't find anything. I got some unrelated items like food and clothes for the boys, not for me.
You can hardly leave Target without spending $100.
Oh, I spent 40.
Oh, good for you.
I think it was 40. It was less than 50. Anyway, but yeah, I was like excited to get decor, but they didn't have anything that spoke to me. I hate fall decorations. All the Halloween stuff, and then even like the color thing, I just don't love fall. I got some stuff at little trinkets at Marshall's, but.
And do you want to confess to the people that what you were doing the other day at a Goodwill? I went thrifting? To Goodwill. Yeah. Shocker. Mm-hmm. You came out alive, so was it as bad as you envisioned? I did come out alive,
but honestly, like, it was not worth my time. Like, they had a bunch of junk, just like I expected. I did get one framed photo for $4.99 that was actually very nice. But I could live without it, But I liked it, and it was cheaper than the ones at Calico, although maybe not quite as nice. But it was nice. It was a nice one. But was it worth going in there? I don't know. It's just, ugh.
The smell, the scent.
The smell, and just, like, I didn't even look at the clothing department. I went right to the housewares, and, like, everything's just thrown in there.
It's a mood. You have to be in a mood, I have to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
I enjoy it, though, so whatever. I'm just the
I
dumpster picker, I guess.
Yeah, I'll do it more often here and there now that I still have a lot of blank walls. And I want to find some cute little things to put on that shelf, so I feel like that might be a good place to look for some things like that. So,
well, you may be back then.
Yeah.
I love your living room / dining room area, like that lofty ceiling.
Yes.
And your chandelier is so pretty. What were you saying about your original chandelier?
It was like the house, their decor was more modern.
Very.
So it was like a circle of 3 layers of glass, like very low profile light that hung down, and it wasn't hideous, but we definitely didn't love it, and we felt like the house overall needed some warm touches. It was very cold, almost sterile, especially the kitchen, which I'm still working on.
You can really see that style coming through in the kitchen, I feel. But that giant window is so
just my favorite.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we can change out the hardware maybe someday. There is tons of hardware in the kitchen because there's so many cabinets, so I have to think long and hard before I do that. Yeah. But we might put some peel and stick backsplash. Like, there's different things. And just even adding my floral rug and the tea towels and everything have really helped already warm it up. But that's definitely the struggle of the kitchen, is to not let it feel sterile.
Yeah. It needs some Jayna sparkle at some point.
Yeah, it does. And the whole house overall was like that, but you felt it most in the kitchen. The living room and dining room is it vaulted? Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
With the ceiling is like a light wood.
Yeah.
So that really helps.
It's so warm. Yeah, I love that. I would lean into the cozy cabin vibes, but that's just me. But yeah, you're upstairs. I got to see that too. And your bathrooms have nice finishes.
I love my bathroom.
And you have that nice tub.
Yeah. Still looking for some art to put above the tub. Does anyone have any suggestions? I have some ideas.
Yeah, she was saying, she's like, well, we could do some like European art. I'm like, what? You mean like nude statues or something? Or artwork?
I don't want anything scandalous, but I don't know. Like, I wanted to have, like, bathroom vibes or bedroom vibes, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it's, like, off the master bathroom.
Yeah, like, I wanted to feel adult, if that makes any sense.
The problem is, how are you going to keep the boys out of it? Like,
I know.
I mean, they're going to want to take a bath in it once in a while.
Yeah,
probably.
So I also thought, like, a beach scene. It doesn't really fit the rest of the house, but a beach scene, like...
That's true.
Ocean, whatever.
It will come to you. Maybe you can see how you use the space, and if the boys literally never go into it,
they're not allowed in it at this moment.
Yeah.
And Jack was like dying to take a bath in the tub, and I felt like I had to draw a hard and fast line and make them learn that they are not allowed in our bedroom. They have their own bathroom. They're just not allowed in there unless they're invited in for whatever reason. So I was like, no, maybe sometime you can have a bath in my tub, but not right away because we need to learn.
Yeah, and you're boundaries. At the stage.
We're not used to that because they were in our room all the time. So
that's awesome. Like, you're getting a new house, and they're 7 and 8, 6 and 8.
7 and 9.
7 and 9. So they're old enough that they can knock on the door.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they don't
absolutely.
need to come crawl in bed with you because they can't sleep because they're 3 or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
And I told them that it can go both ways. Like, if you're in your room, no, I'm going to be in and out of their room for various things when they're not in. But if they're in their room and they would prefer, I could knock on the door and when they're older.
Yeah.
Sure. And especially now, too, I can knock on the door before I go in. And they can treat each other with the same respect. If the door is closed, you know, you can knock before you enter or stay out of each other's rooms. They can have one space that's their own. And they can learn to respect each other. So...
Yeah, I don't know. I love the basement, which you kind of got all the furnishings included, kind of like the popcorn maker at least.
Yeah, there was a weight set that they left and a pool table and a popcorn maker. Yeah, I think that was about it. So we were discussing moving and all the work that it is. My husband right now is working he does construction for a living, and he loves doing remodels and helping people take ugly homes and make them nice. So give him a call. No, he's very busy right now. So he's helping my friend's little brother he's a first-time homeowner, and they got there and he's asking Josh, how do we do this? Like, the place needed absolutely ransacked. It needed everything gutted out of it, ripping out the kitchen, all the like rotten things and just worn out stuff. And Josh is like, you don't want to hire me for that. He's like, you call up your friends, you order pizza, you have a bunch of buddies come over and you rip it out of there. He's like, I'll drop the dumpster off for you and I can help, you know, if you need, I can like help guide and everything. But he's like, you just get your friends. It's not specialized work.
No, anybody can do it. And it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like using the sledgehammer and stuff to rip things out. That is how Josh has helped with I mean, yes, he's in construction, but like his brothers will, like, if they need help on something, they go do it together, and they are like a workforce. It's friends, you know, they'll donate a day here or there usually when somebody moves to help with stuff. And it's just, you don't keep track. It's just kind of a give and a take. And you help someone, someday they'll help you. And
or you help someone else because someone different helped you.
Yes. It's like a chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily a circle or a cycle, but a chain. And so I just thought that's so beautiful. And we always knew that Mennonites do community really well. We're in the world, but we look different. And so we tend to, for better or worse, we'll often like stick in our own little clans and stuff, which has its downsides for sure. But there's also strengths to, like, we look out for each other. And I think that's centered mostly around like church community and family. And so we're just discussing the different ways that we see tangible 3D community. And we'd like to just give you some ideas or ways that maybe you can be the instigator of that in your own community. And Mennonites are not the only ones who do this well. So wanted to acknowledge that. So what are some things that you were thinking of?
Like, as just events that could end up being really expensive, it can be so cost effective to even like our weddings. So photographers, we had a family member take pictures. Now we paid her, but she gave us a really good deal.
And she was a photographer.
Yes.
Like, she wasn't like, oh, I have a camera, I'll come.
No. She was a professional photographer. But even like this setup, you can save a lot of money if you have your friends and family help you set up. You don't have to hire someone for that. I think weddings are a lot of work. And I mean, for my sister's wedding, we were washing the dishes, like that kind of thing.
With my mom and her friends, they always, every single child, so there's like 4 friends, and they all had like 4 or 5 kids. Every single wedding, they will go and help set all the tables, fold all the napkins. For my wedding, there was cotton candy to be made. We had like 350 things of cotton candy.
Well, one of the people do, instead of like a banquet facility, they will get a catered meal. And one reason that can be more cost effective is because you can have friends and family help clean up. Then you're not paying for that service, or help set up, like I said. Gift receivers, someone to load the gifts and take them back to your house. You're not paying someone to do that, like a moving company or something to do that. I don't know. It's just, weddings are huge, and I feel like the only way they're pulled off so efficiently, and probably in other communities too, not just Mennonites, but friends and family just make that day. You couldn't do it without them.
I know there's so many other ways. I just can't always think of them, even down to like borrowing your friend's vehicle so you have a cute like entourage going to the reception, or there's just so many different ways. Sewing, you know, the outfits and things, like sometimes outfits, not the outfits, the dresses. There's just a lot of different borrowing and sharing and lending and assisting.
Yeah, at my wedding, my bridesmaids' moms, most of them sewed their dresses, so I didn't have to pay a seamstress to do that, or my mom didn't have to do it all.
Yeah.
Funerals are another one. Like, you often have meals, and the trustees of the church will do that. And it takes the weight of that, even if money isn't an issue, just getting that catered, and it just takes the weight of planning and stuff off when you have a church family behind you that can take care of those details.
I always, like, when I think of community, I always think of the Amish barn raisings, how you see all these guys go together and you put up a new barn in like one day. It's just crazy, the manpower and the teamwork, and all the ladies have to do all the cooking for these hungry guys, but that's not part of our culture or anything. But yeah, even just baby meals and meal trains, I know a lot of people have like a church that will do that for them, and like that's just kind of a given. You set up a meal train when there's a new baby.
Even your corn day. Like, that's an example of community too, because many hands make light work. If you had to do all that corn yourself, it would take you probably over 2 days.
Yeah, I had that later on in the list about, you could do, like, if you have some canning you want to do, you could do canning with a friend. Me and some friends got together one time and canned pears together, and the kids played and stayed out of our hair because, well, for the most part, the bigger kids stayed out of our hair and played together while we got pears done. And yeah, you get to talk and visit and chat and like have some entertainment while also everybody goes home with whatever you were working on. We're kind of segueing into ideas that, you know, you guys can replicate, but I have heard of friends, and we've done this here and there too, of like taking turns like cleaning people's homes. Like, we'd all go together with somebody. I guess it's not always when they're moving. I'm trying to remember when we did this, but like we did this with like Whitney and Mandy, and like we clean and then you go to the next place or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. We only ever did it one time, but I know different people that have like an actual schedule. You can sew or craft together in the winter. I remember this past winter, or was it 2 winters ago? Me and my friend got together and we were just sewing side by side. We both knew how to sew, and we were sewing our little girls' dresses or something. And yeah, you're like being productive, but also, you know, socializing.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. My little sister-in-law, she just had her first baby. She started a WhatsApp group with a bunch of girls that she knew, and she's like, okay, we're going to do a play date. And she texted the park out, and they all went, and then they invited friends. And now she's like, it's so big, they can't even do it in the winter.
Oh, that's
because
fun.
they can't all fit in houses. It doesn't always suit everybody, I guess. But she's like, it's almost too big of a group to have in a house anymore. But I was like, that is so neat.
That's
she just
so
like
fun.
instigated it on her own, because we have a stroller gang that meets really close by. I don't go to it anymore because I have bigger kids. But yep, they meet and they go on walks together. They pray before they leave, and sometimes there'll be a snack or something. There's like a whole community around that.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Or I was like, man, it would not be that hard if I felt the need. I don't feel the need or whatever, but to just have like story hour in my backyard once a month, you know, and everybody knows the first Thursday of the month or something, you can come if you want. You do that with your pond days.
Yeah.
You just like send out all the dates and come if you can.
Yep. That's so fun.
So actually, it's really nice if something can just be on a cyclical or repeatable thing, because then it just happens.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, did you have sewing circles on your...
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's probably why I thought of it.
No, go ahead.
It's kind of an archaic situation, but my church still does sewing circles. And I think that is an example of a way community comes together to serve outside the community. And there's different examples of that in our culture. I mean, we have Christian aid ministries. You can go there and you can help them pack bundles or sort things. There's Blessings of Hope, where you can go and help process their food, that they give boxes away to the community, people who need. And I think that's an awesome way that community can look outward and help other people, work together to help others. And something that I've been thinking about lately, maybe you could say I've been convicted, is we talk about community all the time, and we encourage you to find community this, community that. We say it's so important. We're so blessed by it. But yet I go to the grocery store, or I'm walking down the street and I see my neighbor and I'm like, oh man, I hope she doesn't want to talk, and, you know, keep going. I don't have time for that today, because I don't feel the need for community because I have it, right? But I'm always telling other people to look for it. But yet here I am with blinders on. I have friends. I don't need more friends. I don't need a bigger community. But that person that I just passed and didn't, you know, I wasn't rude maybe, but I didn't make an extra effort to invite them into my community, or even to care about them, or take the time to see where they were in their life. Like, that's kind of two-faced to tell you guys to, like, hey, if you're at the park, like, you know, maybe you could chat someone up and, you know, make a friend. And then I'm at the park and, like, avoiding eye contact because I don't want to make a friend because I have enough friends. So I don't know. I was just thinking, like, to slow down, and you can always use another friend. And even if it doesn't turn into a friendship, it's the goal. Like, sometimes there's that reel that goes around. Sometimes I forget this is even the point, or something like that. Like, the point is we are supposed to be spreading the love of Jesus. We're supposed to be looking outward and bringing people into our circle, into our community, and not just focusing on our community and be like, oh, it's so great, it's so great. And it is, but yet sometimes we forget that that's the whole point, is looking outward. So that's something I've been thinking about and convicted of lately.
And even if your little casual conversation at the park or wherever doesn't go beyond that ever, it's not a failure at all. I was just thinking, me and Josh were at September Farm. It's like an eating establishment, destination type of place. If you're ever in Lancaster County, check it out. We were there, and there was this, we had the kids with us, but we saw, I don't know how we got to talking with this couple as we were standing in line or something. It was just them, and they were like 45, very, like, older than us, but she was pregnant, I think, at the time. Maybe not. She either had just had a baby or was going to, I forget. And she was like an older mom, so she was much more experienced. And here they had like 9 children. We were chatting with them, and we were talking about our faith and like different, like, it was so amazing. And like Josh and I walked away from that being like, we want to be more like those people. And to this day, I still remember the conversations we were having and just the way they made us feel. And we were complete strangers, and I have no idea what their names were, and we'll probably never run into them again. But they ministered to us in a way they will never know. And it was just, I want to emulate them in the way that they were just showed hospitality and wisdom towards us. I want to do that for somebody else.
And you didn't need that. Like, you didn't necessarily need community. No, you weren't looking for it. And how awesome that it just happened. And yeah, such a good reminder. Sometimes I can just be like, in my zone, grocery store, whatever. Like, I don't look to the left. I don't look to the right. I don't see the people. And there's that song, I think it's Casting Crowns, Give Me the Eyes to See the People All Around or something. And there have been times in my life that I have been focused on that and have done a better job. But I feel like right now that's something that I could definitely do better. So this conversation was a good reminder for me. So this week, our challenge to you is to reach out to one person in a way that might be a little difficult for you. It's a little bit out of your comfort zone. Maybe you wouldn't ordinarily do it, but I don't know. Ask an extra question. Stop and talk to someone, or even just like say hi, or like as if you were at the park. Just, I don't know. You have to know. You'll figure it out.
Let the Holy Spirit lead.
Yes, let the Spirit lead. And I think if you are looking for opportunities, they will come your way. I really do.
And remember,
so look.
Yeah, we're not looking to get anything out of this. This is just to practice the muscle, and maybe something will come of it, and maybe not, and maybe they'll grunt and move on or whatever.
Yeah, but try one time and let us know how it goes.
I think the more we practice, the more it becomes just part of us, just like that couple we ran into at the restaurant. So cool. Well, okay, thank you so much for being here.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.